All right, so today, if you are wondering how the Thousand Suns match up against the Starshatter Arsenal, the new Grotmist detachment without the Silent King, you're going to want to stick around because we're doing a battle report summary today where I'm taking a 3-hour game, condensing it down into 20 minutes, giving you all the juicy details of what we learned, what went right, what went wrong, and simply just passing it on to you. So if that's something that interests you, please stick around. I'm going to be dropping a lot of knowledge in the next 20 minutes or so, and let's just get into it, shall we? So I went ahead and put the lists up on the screen. So if you'd like to pause just to see the list really quick, go for it. I figured that would be a better way to do it instead of me just itemizing, reading each one one by one. So pause it if you want to see it, and we're just going to keep this thing moving here. So playing Scorched Earth today, and we have quarter deployment, as you can see here. And we are going to flip over to the big screen now. And y'all, we got another loss. All right. It was a close one. All right. And, this is a really good thing to see because we're experimenting without the Silent King. Now, I would be the first one to say, I think the Silent King is going to be the go-to build. Okay. It is the build, but it's fun to test stuff. And like new metas don't emerge by not testing different units and everything else. So by no means is every one of these battle reports, going to be like the best list ever. You got to experiment. And that's what a lot of good players are doing behind the scenes that you don't see. But I'm just trying to provide more transparency of what is going on behind the scenes and what really good and high-level players are doing. They're experimenting with different units, seeing how they behave. And that is how a meta more or less develops, right? So this is the board state. This is the deployment. It was a very close game, and there were definitely quite a few things that were learned on this match as well. So we have, as you can see from deployment, we have a Stalker here, Tomb Blades here to give me flexibility to scout up here against this wall. These Tomb Blades can scout back here, so we're keeping our scouting pieces out of line of sight. And then, of course, we have the Flayed Ones over here in their beautiful pocket on layout 1, okay? And then we have our race with our Crypto Thralls right here, all right? So going into the first turn, our boy Bryce, he is going to go first, all right? And he's going to get Cole the Horde and Mark for Death. Pretty rough because when you run the Crypto Thralls in the race, they do give up Cole the Horde. So unfortunately, he could not score that turn 1, and he could not score Mark for Death. And Thousand Suns, they definitely need their CP, so it wasn't really in a spot to cycle early. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea on the first turn. And so he unfortunately just gets 2 duds. So he is going to stage up, which we're going to see here. And that is more or less his turn. So he's going to have Magnus here. He's going to have his Rubric Marines here. He's going to do a Temporal Surge to basically fire and fade them on the objective during the shooting phase and pass it over to me. So turn 1, we're going to get no prisoners and recover assets. As you can see here, he going into the turn, he doesn't have anything that I can really pick off. I mean, I could swing the Stalker over here and try to do some chip damage, but I mean, that was basically all I could do. So no prisoners was going to be a dud, and recover assets is going to be pretty simple. There's a cheeky pocket that you can have right here outside your deployment zone on this layout, and then we recovered assets, I think, with the race just over here. Okay, so going into my turn, that's essentially what we're doing as far as secondaries. I'm going to fast forward this here so you guys can see how the turn looked at bottom of 1. So Stalker is just going to shoot here, probably kill a couple Marines. Unfortunately, couldn't really do much with it this game. Probably could have played it maybe a little bit differently potentially, but the Stalker just kind of this was just a very weird match, as you guys are going to see. It was very cagey just because the natural expansions are just so far away from each side. And with Scorched Earth, there's not really a huge incentive to play for the middle unless you're getting area denial or secure no man's land or something like that. So it was kind of this cat and mouse game of he had a ton of OC stacked over here. I had a ton of OC stacked over here, and it's like, all right, who wants to come out first? More or less. So that's the end of turn 1, and we're going to hit up bottom or top of 2. Bryce the man, he's going to get a 10 on primary, ladies and gentlemen, and he is going to get area denial and bring it down. Okay, so let's see what his turn looks like here. So he is going to get move these guys up for area denial, get them within 3. He is going to get a baby area denial because the flayed ones are right here, and he didn't want to move another resource out to try to get the flayed ones off the. They're actually not on the point. Or no, wait, they were. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, no, they weren't on the point, but they were within 6. So he got baby area denial. So, and then bring it down. So he was able to kill the stalker here for 4 points. So again, pretty easy turn for him. He's kind of measuring things out here if he wants to like bring like his crystal unit in potentially or not, but that wasn't really an option. And we are going to rapid ingress the Praetorians right here. And this match is going to showcase a little bit better of what these Praetorians can do. Even though he massively spiked on some 4-up saves, you're going to see that here in a second. Stick around. But this is the power of Praetorians, okay? So we rapid ingress the Praetorians here. He passes it over to me, and we get Storm, Hostile, and Assassination, okay? So looking at this board state right now, if I didn't have the Praetorians in, this is essentially what it looks like. The Stalker is dead, and we have a character right here, and we have the Enlighten right here, okay? So normally, like, I would have to, and also I have area denial, okay? So it is, Storm, Hostile, and Assassination. So what's tricky is I need to get this character, but I also need to hold this objective at the end, right? So hypothetically, if the Praetorians were in here, the flayed ones could maybe come out and come out here and potentially try to charge here. But if I roll too high, there is a situation where they wouldn't be close enough to pile back in, or consolidate back in on the objective. And so where the Praetorians came in super clutch was you can swing them on the objective. He can't overwatch from this point right here, right? Since they move 10, so they go over here. They have 5 shots again. He's on the point, so they're hitting on 2s at 5-2-2. They clean up this unit, and then they're able to charge into the character, and they get to reroll charges as well. So super good. And then it allows me just to put the flayed ones on the point behind the wall as an insurance policy, just in case they make the charge and I can't pile back on. To also still get Storm Hostile objective. Okay. So, and then basically other than that, the race just move up, Catacomb Command Barge moves up, Reanimator shifts here. And that was like pretty much the turn. So I'm going to show you that fast forwarding here. So as you see here, we hit him with the Tomb Blades just to provide a screen and then Fire and Fade. So we're just, getting some good board control, screening out some 9s, keeping him out of this area. If he wants to drop over here, it's like, be my guest. But the Praetorians charge in 15 attacks. I hand him like 9 4-ups, and he makes like 8 of them. I'm like, so character survives. So couldn't get assassination. So, but in hindsight, like, that is the power of the Praetorians, that they can do some really nasty tricks that your opponent is not expecting because of the movement. Like, you think these little characters are like Calidus assassins or like mechs behind dreadnoughts, stuff like that. They can go after those little units very easily, where if you need like an engage in all fronts somewhere, you need a behind enemy lines, you need to, just get rid of this little utility piece that they're not expecting. They're really good for that, and they're really good at digging your opponent off primary in turns 2 and turns 3 if they're behind a wall. This match, I didn't have the option to do that because I have Magnus right here that is a huge Overwatch threat, or a good enough Overwatch threat. So I could have put the Praetorians here, which I would have loved, and then charging in here, and they would have just cleaned up those Rubric Marines. I think in hindsight, I mean, maybe I just risk it and just take the Overwatch and just see what Magnus can do. But he positioned it really well, where he really prevented me from like interacting with this side of the board at all, which was tough. So anyways, okay, so going into top of 3 here, he's going to get another 10 on primary again, and he's going to get cleanse and behind enemy lines, cycles behind enemy lines, and gets no prisoners. So pretty easy turn for him again. He's going to kill these Praetorians, and he's going to kill these Tomb Blades, and then he's going to cleanse this point right here. So we are going to see that play out. And then as you can see here, I rapid ingress another unit of Praetorians right here. To go more or less just kill these Enlighten. Unfortunately, in this match of the Praetorians, I mean, this unit really connected, but this unit did their work, but this one, not as much. But trust me, I'm still a believer in Praetorians. I'm still going to be practicing them. I really think they have some legs. I mean, they weren't fully utilized in both of these matches, but I'm pretty confident if I get a couple more reps with these guys, I think there's some good tricks you can do for sure. So we're going to ingress them in here. They're going to go interact with these Enlightened. So we're looking at bottom of 3 here. I get Defend, Stronghold, and Sabotage. We get a 10 on primary again. So we defend here. We sabotage over here. These guys are going to go kill those guys. And that is pretty much the turn. I'm going to talk about here. Basically, we're getting everything set up for his push. So I had to put these Locust Heavies here. That was the other thing that I didn't necessarily like about the list that I talked about last battle report, is I felt like I was 1 unit short in both games. Like one little screening piece, like a Locust Destroyer, or just like something else that I could have put down to have a little bit of board control here. And so unfortunately, like I just had to put the Locust Heavies there because I couldn't afford him having like Magnus swinging over with Crystal. And getting over in this territory here. So Locust Heavies were basically just sacrificed this game, and then we're staging up everything as far as anti-tank for the push on round 4. So going into turn 4, he's going to get a 10 on primary again, and he gets Defend, Stronghold, and Establish Locust. So he's going to defend here, and you're going to see him starting to shift towards the center. And he is going to burn this objective on turn 4, as you're going to see. So the Locust Heavies die. Going into my bottom of 4, we are going to get Containment and Bring It Down. Unfortunately, I could not do Bring It Down, had to cycle it, and we get Mark for Death, which was another just like crappy pull, unfortunately. So all we do for Containment, again, on Search and Destroy, you can basically contain on this corner and this corner. So that's exactly what we did. We staged up the race with the Crypto Thralls right here, and we're basically like anticipating him shifting all of these resources over here, as you can see. So everything is staged up, just like ready to punch. It was a pretty funny setup, man. These are good practice games. Good practice games. So he is going to get the burn going into turn 5. So he's going to get 2 objectives and or maybe, oh, no, yeah, because he got the burn at the end of the game. That's right. I'm wondering how he got 15 at the end. So he's going to get a 10 and then a burn. And then he's going to get Established Locust, Engage on all fronts. He cycles Engage and gets Storm Hostile. So unfortunately, just another dud because I don't have anything on these 2 points because the Flayed One's moved. But he is able to Locust with, I think, the Rubric Squad, or maybe it was this unit. And basically all he's doing is he's going to kill this resource and pretty much call it a turn. And so as you can see here, he's basically just creating this wall to make it super hard for me to like interact with this objective here. And you're going to see that in full display after he moves. So this is my bottom of turn 5. We're going to get Overwhelming Force, Engage. Again, we cycle Engage, get Cleanse. Unfortunately, 2 huge duds. And this was like a really big lesson for me. And this was like a fun practice game. So I was like, you know what? Let's just shoot everything at Magnus. See if we can get him. Definitely did not get him. So we literally shot my entire army, Doomsday Arc, Ray shooting, charging in, Amidix, Scorpec destroyers move up, anti-infantry guns, everything here. And I think we get Magnus down to like 6 left, what was a gut punch is like everything is 2 damage. Like Scorpex are 2 damage, Wraith melee is 2 damage, the Locust Destroyers are 2 damage. So he's making everything just damage 1, which was rough. Was really missing some Locust Heavy Destroyers right about now. I'll tell you that. So in hindsight, basically, you can see the board state right here is basically what happened is I couldn't get anything off the point. And in hindsight, like, I should have, like, basically just killed the Vortex Beast guaranteed, and then you take this off the objective, and then it just gives me the flexibility to just get a ton of race on here, and then that's the game, like, just automatically. Because you deny his burn, and then I can control 2 objectives at the end, so it would go from him getting, yeah, I mean, it'd be like a 10-point swing at that point, and then also would have capped out Overwhelming Force. So yeah, just you know, it was fun to try to YOLO into Magnus, but yeah, definitely in like a tournament setting, I think you go for the, you know, the for sure play. Just kill the Vortex Beast. It takes the surface area off the point, race charge in, you auto see him, and then call it a day. But Bryce played this extremely well. It wasn't like a super eventful game in terms of like, it was very cat and mouse, which sometimes games can be like that, especially if you're playing the ritual. I hate when tournaments run that mission. Like, my 2 least favorite missions are supply drop and ritual. I mean, those 2 are just like not the best. But anyways, as far as thoughts and lessons here, I think I'm going to talk more from like a list perspective. I don't think there was like a ton of errors. Praetorians maybe could have been positioned a little bit easier. I talked about potentially the Praetorians like coming in here turn 2 on an ingress and just like forcing Magnus to Overwatch could have been interesting. And I think it's mainly from like a list perspective. The Crypto Thralls are cool, but I think you just run the race without the Crypto Thralls. I mean, just having like another unit of like Death Marks or another unit of Flayed Ones, I think overall is probably just going to be a more well-rounded list. But again, this is like why we test stuff. I think I'm still going to test the Crypto Thralls a little bit more. I think it's kind of cool because some of the shenanigans you can do. But, you know, at the same time, just having a whole nother unit is really valuable. Board control really valuable. And I think it fills the void of being 1 unit short. I felt like in both matchups, as far as from like a board control perspective and just like that another unit to harass with or another unit to like score points. So other than that, fantastic game against the T-Suns. If you made it this far, seriously appreciate you sticking around. I'm going to go ahead and link 2 videos up top. And yeah, I hope you both have a great weekend coming up. Peace.